Hi guys, hi everybody. Hope you're well. Welcome to the African Queen Mo show. Again, I hope you enjoy my new background. Let's adjust. Hey, it's good to dream. Welcome to my live show. I'm really looking forward to it. Today we have a very interesting topic. Hey, we want to talk about the impeachment motion against the deputy president. Amidst the economic downturn, the pain that Kenyans are going through currently in the economy. Yeah, I hope you're there. Wave. Welcome to my Facebook subscribers, YouTube, TikTok, everywhere. Welcome. I am live. And X as well. I hope you can hear me clearly. Basically, it's come to my attention that, sorry, I don't know why I have to cough. I was doing really well. It's come to my attention that there's some people who really want to distract us. There are people who want to distract us, you people. Yeah? Any opportunity just to confuse us, to distract us from what's really going on. So they give us something in the front, a smoke screen, yeah, in the front. And meanwhile, in the back, there's stuff going on. Yeah? I had written somewhere on a piece of paper, and I'm going to find it out. What are the things that are going on in the meantime as we have the impeachment motion going on right now? Yeah? There's so much going on in the background. Yeah? Are you guys aware that JP Morgan Chase has been invited into Kenya and provided with a sort of administrative office in Kenya? Meanwhile, JP Morgan Chase, you remember, according to Jimmy Wanjigi, was mentioned in the Eurobond scandal as a participant. Whether or not it participated directly or indirectly, the fact is that it has been mentioned. So the question is, who is vetting all these people who are coming, all these multinational organizations? Yeah, who is vetting them into the Kenyan market? And meanwhile, we're being shown Gachagua in the background, yeah? So this is the problem that we're having here. So I thought, I think it's worthwhile to discuss it because in the meantime, we're also being threatened. You see, this is the Central Bank of Kenya. The Central Bank of Kenya approved the JP Morgan Chase Bank to establish a representative branch in Kenya. Think about it. And yet, you know that they have been implicated in the Eurobond scandal. And my question is, are you guys, are we Kenyans awake or are we still sleeping? Bado tunalala. Bado tunalala au we are awake. When we said Ruto must go, did we mean Gachagua must go or did we mean Ruto must go? Let's be for real. Let's be for real here, guys. Yeah? Because one of the things, the distractions of the world, and by the way, this is happening all over the world, distractions. And I want to encourage us not to be distracted. Not to be distracted. Do not buy the hype. Today it was very interesting. I was actually watching the proceedings with the Senate, and I thought, the representative for the deputy president, the lawyers for the deputy president, was basically focusing on the evidence, which he finds is basically not tallying up. Basically, it is for the accuser to provide the evidence against the accused. And if they don't provide the evidence against any unreasonable doubt, then in that case, hey, the guy just might end up going back to become the deputy president. And then another thing we have to consider is this gentleman, no matter which side of the divide you're on, whether you're Kenya Kwanza or whether you're not Kenya Kwanza, it doesn't matter really, yeah? Does it? And you're welcome to join me, guys, on the live show. You're very welcome. All you have to do is just request to join and I'll just, include you. So it doesn't matter whether you're Kenya Kwanza or whether you are, whether you're Azimio. The fact is that this government belongs now to all of us equally as shareholders. I heard the motion mover today talking about the fact, trying to press and to emphasize when Mr. President Gachagua was emphasizing on the shareholders. Yes, he talked about that. Yes, he did. He definitely put all Azimio people at the back of the bus. He sure did. And he told all the people who did not vote for this government that they're not going to be beneficiaries of the government. They're going to be last in line, and he's going to take all those who voted for Kenya Kwanza and basically replace them and put them in the front of the line. I think that Gachagua really doesn't understand how to communicate. Communication is an issue for him. That you guys, as much as his attire, his dressing style initially at the beginning was combo combo, his mouth runs like mad. Yeah, his mouth runs a lot. So the issue that we should be talking about here is that reason enough to impeach a president because of what he says, because of the things that he has said. Yet it hasn't actually caused any instability in the country. We haven't actually experienced any instability in the country because he said those things. Because in the meantime, most Kenyans were not even for this government. We know that. Yeah. The biggest problem is not even the utterances that he has. The fact that he's even sitting there on the chair is an issue. The fact that the two of them and all of their cronies are there is an issue. That's the biggest issue that Kenyans have. What Kenyans are asking for is we don't want this government, period. We don't want them. And it's not, we're not actually saying that we don't want Gachagua. Actually, that's not the issue. I don't even know who these MPs were representing. Were they representing the people or were they not representing the people? According to the Constitution, you guys, Article 1 of the Constitution says, all sovereign power belongs to the people of the people. Yeah, all sovereign power belongs to us, you guys. Let's never forget that. Again, you know, the articles in the Constitution which are being used to impeach this president are articles number 144, I guess they're saying to 150. The person who moved the motion is citing up to 150. But what I know is that in order to impeach a sitting president, fact is, you have to prove a few things. One, he has to have incapacity. He must prove that he's incapable, he or she. Yeah, he must be physically or mentally incapable. Now, you know, telling a lie, consistently telling lies, shows that you have a mental illness anyway, right there, isn't it? The fact that you will tell lies, the fact that you'll steal, the fact that you're corrupt, the fact that you will do, you know, all sorts of terrible things and crimes shows that you definitely have something wrong with your mind. That's a good enough reason to impeach you. That's a good enough reason to leave you out of leadership, to say we don't want you as our leader. Yeah. So the first one is incapacity. The second one, as we know, is a gross violation of the gross violation of the Constitution. The Constitution of Kenya 2010 gives Kenyans so many rights that if you grossly violate those rights, yeah, you're in big trouble. Let me put on my glasses so that I can see vizuri here. And I'd rather not be the only one talking. I'd like you guys to join me. Karibuni. This is African Queen Mo Cardiff. Yep. This is me. So I'm a Kenyan citizen and I'm talking as a citizen. I would like to participate. This is my public participation. Yes, let us participate. So the gross violation of the Constitution and other laws. Has Mr. Gachagua grossly violated the Constitution and other laws? Yeah. Well, let's just see. Has he been selling or buying public assets? That's some things that seem to be coming up over there. Yeah. And not just Gachagua, because you see, he is a deputy president. There's also a president who nominated him into parliament. I mean, nominated him to be his running mate, nominated him to be his helper, his assistant. So anything that he does represents the big guy, the big boss. So the gross violation of the Constitution and other laws is one of the reasons that we can that we can impeach a president, according to our Constitution 2010. The other thing is committing crimes under national or international law, guys. Committing crimes under national or international law. The question is, we know very well that there are so many crimes that have been committed against people in this country for so many years, for so many months. This year has been criminal year. So many bodies have been found dumped. No investigations. I don't know whether there are any. Okay, no, the investigations are happening. Let me not say there are no investigations. Yes, there are investigations, but we're not satisfied with the response so far. Yeah, bodies of women found mutilated in dump sites. children being shot just for expressing their views, expressing their rights, being shot point blank range, at Parliament. Isn't that a gross violation? Isn't that a crime? Isn't that criminal, guys? Okay, let's talk about the gross misconduct, abuse of office. Abuse of office by hiring only people from specific tribes, hiring people, recruiting people into positions into public positions just based on the last name, just based on the fact that they voted for that particular, voted for Kenya Kwanza. And meanwhile, as we are being fed this impeachment motion and all the proceedings in the parliament and in the Senate, the Kenya court, the Kenya, sorry, Kenyans are being transferred from NHIF to SHIF. In fact, let me tell you, just now, I just got a message from SHIF right now, by the way. Huh? The question I asked myself, what happened to all the NHIF funds? What happened to national health insurance funds? What happened to those? If the public institutions like the hospitals are not accepting the national health insurance of Kenyans, that Kenyans have been paying into all their lives and their parents and everyone. So the question is, what happens? Is that information is that money going to be transferred into SHIF, or what happens? What we have seen is that those people who have been paying all these years, are not going to have access to SHIF. They're not going to have, they don't have access to public healthcare. Let me be clear. They don't have access to public healthcare. Right now, we have people who are dying because they're not able to get kidney, dialysis of their kidneys. They're dying. People are being sent home because they don't have cash, because they were registered under the NHIF. God forbid, all the pensioners. And this is so interesting because you see the pensioners in the UK are also facing the same problem. Pensioners in the UK are actually facing like a cut in their benefits, energy benefits specifically, electricity, gas. So they're not going to be kept warm in the winter. So for me, what I call this is a cull. This is a cull. If you're going to deny known benefits of a service to a member of the citizenry of Kenya or any country in the world, if you're going to deny them known benefits of a specific procedure, then what we are doing is that we are actually participating in their elimination deliberately. Deliberately, guys. Hey, Hotep, yes, we must claim and rescue our country. 100% agree. Thank you so much. Comment section, come on board, welcome. Very soon. By the way, I also want to tell you that there's this program that comes on much later. It's called Sound Candid Live Talk, and I usually participate, but it comes rather late in the night, about maybe 11:30 p.m. Kenyan time. That is GMT +3. So you can join us then. I think most likely I'll be there for a little while, but I thought to start a program a little bit earlier so that we can engage together. And you're welcome to come on board. I'm going to be here for the next half hour more, and then I'm going to go rest and wait. But guys, we have to rescue our country. There's nobody else who's going to come to do it for us. Nobody else. All of you guys who are here in Kenya, we have to put our heads together. We can't allow these people to just basically dominate the narrative. I don't want to see young people so depressed and miserable just because their future has been or is being taken away from them by their own African colonizers. Let me take away those glasses, although I'm seeing you very better with them. Huh? Yes, the worst colonizer is your own skin color, your own binadamu, your own binanodamu. So these people are heartless, man. Right now, they're treating us to a show. Drama bin drama. Who gives a damn? Who gives a damn about what Gachagua is acquiring or not acquiring? If you're not going to deal with the top, if you're not going to deal with the root cause of the problem, don't give me side shoes. Thank you very much. Because he is being actually facilitated. He is being, he said very well that he's working for his boss. Hey, did he say that? He said that he learned from his boss, which is kind of weird. to say such a thing. But you see, all that goes to show that he is very loyal to his boss, actually. He has been very loyal to his boss to the point where that he's kicked Uhuru and the rest of all of us under the bus. If you happen to be a mountaineer, Morema person, you're being kicked under the bus by Gashaguas and the Kimanis and all these people. They're kicking us under the bus. They're kicking people under the bus. But it's not just the Kikuyu nation, by the way. It's every Kenyan. Because, by the way, you guys, tribalism, who does it benefit? It doesn't benefit you. It doesn't benefit me. It only benefits politicians. Yeah? Because that's the only way that they can rule. These people are backward, primitive. That's my auntie who says, these people are so primitive. And they are bloody primitive. People who are operating anyone who operates from a tribe perspective or color, from the color or the race perspective, is primitive, backward. When I say primitive, I don't mean primitive in a positive way. I'm saying barbaric. I think that's the right word, barbaric. And very unintelligent, extremely. Yeah? So, yes, I feel it's deliberate to target the elderly. Of course it is deliberate to target the elderly. Why are they targeting people who have been paying into NHIF since they were young people employed by the government of Kenya, who used to pay into NHIF, and all of a sudden it's no longer available? Today, actually, one of a person who I know, okay, she told me that her brother went to the hospital because he experiences blockage of the chest. She was trying to explain it to me, in local language, that his chest blocks up. Basically, what he has is very bad asthma. He went to the hospital and he couldn't get treatment. Can you imagine going to the hospital, to a public hospital in Kenya, and not being able to breathe and say, I need oxygen, and be told, oh, well, unfortunately, we do not recognize SHIF. SHIF, actually, they should replace the F with a T at the end, yeah, guys. Oh, we don't recognize SHIF, so you have to pay cash. How the hell can you even reach into your pocket to look for cash, or even to look for a card, or even pick up a phone and talk to anybody, ask them for help when you don't have breath? How do you do it? Where are we going as Kenyans, guys? Where are we going? Tunaenda wapi? Yes, we must reclaim and rescue our country. And I know one of the things I really love about the people of Kenya is the way we love our country. You see the way we wear our bracelets? I'm wearing one right now. Yeah, this was a gift from my Gen Z niece. She gave it to me a long time ago. It doesn't have the map of Kenya, but it has absolutely beautiful beadlery. We love our country. All of us are wearing something that's Kenyan, something. Even my hairstyle is Kenyan. Proud African, proud, very proud. And when I say proud, I don't mean arrogant. I mean proud of the achievements of the past generations. Proud of what they were able to achieve despite all the difficulties and challenges that they faced. You imagine what they faced with the colonial regime. It's nothing compared to what we are facing now is nothing compared to what they faced. They faced a lot, guys. If you watch those programs on TV and see how our ancestors were treated by colonial governments, if you watch those videos, you will cry tears, really serious tears, that what we are going through now is nothing. We are Cerelac babies. This is Cerelac compared. All of us should be joining Morara. All of us should be joining Morara. I really admire Morara's bravery, confidence, courage. That man is very courageous in this time, he is very, very courageous, because Morara, actually, for those of you who don't know who Morara, what the heck I'm talking about, Morara is a young man in Kenya who is fighting the system. He has taken upon himself to identify projects that have been planned in the budget and to go and check and monitor and report back in real time whether or not they have been effected. whether these are white elephants or whether these are actually projects that are on the ground. And by far, 99% of his findings are that all the money that is collected for projects in Kenya, all the money that is actually budgeted and given a line item, like 99% of them are not affected. Now, I'll tell you guys that my background, that's my job. Monitoring evaluation, that's my job. But one of the most dangerous jobs in the world to do, apart from being a high court judge or a judge or a lawyer, whatever, it's one of the most dangerous jobs you can do. You know why? Because nobody likes to hear bad news. Communication of bad news can see you not see the light of day the next day. I'm telling you, people don't take well to criticism. People don't like to be criticized, critiqued. Even if it's positive criticism, they don't like to hear it. Even the leaders of the country who, purport to state that, hey, you know what, I want to go and find out whether or not my people are working. Fact is, actually, he doesn't want to know. Most of the time, they don't want to hear it. So there's, Morara, what I tell Morara is, what I would tell him as an experienced person in this field, I would tell him, continue doing your job, but don't do it alone, and make sure that you have a very good backup to support, not just to support you, but actually to protect you. Yeah. He needs organizations. He needs people to rally around him. And who's going to rally around him except us? There's a project in Nigeria. I can see 4 of you are listening to me. Hi, did I greet you? Anyway, karibuni. So there's a project that I actually went and evaluated in Nigeria. It's called Budge IT. Budget. It's budget with tech. Budget IT. I tell you, I can talk about it. Why? Because the final report was published and it's available for the public to see. So I can talk about it. Under normal circumstances, we can't normally reveal or, divulge information about projects. But basically, this one was even funded. There was a portion of it that was funded by United Nations. One thing that Morara should understand is that he can get big organizations like the United Nations to fund what he's doing. And that would actually give him some backup support. That would give him some protection from the evil people who are waiting, baying on his blood right now. Just because he is revealing the wastage of public funds and resources. And it's a very, very big one. So let me tell you about budget. Budget in Nigeria, basically it was started by people in the IT sector, IT people who thought that they could actually apply IT, ICTs for collection of data in real time and send the information to a portal where citizens had access. Citizens who are interested had access. And if you wanted to subscribe, you could subscribe and get notifications on your phone. Every single person in Nigeria can access that portal and get notifications on their mobile phone. Especially, for example, let's say if you come from a specific village or town, you can get that information if you register with them. You just register with them for a small fee, and then they actually provide you with that information in real time, especially if you're in the leadership. It's very important. Whether you're in the leadership, political leadership, or whether you're just in the civil society, you're a church person, church leader, or you're a group leader or young people leader, you're following, you want to know where your monies are going, budget is doing the job. But the difference that I see between Morara's approach and budget IT founders' approach is that those guys, what they did, they went and trained people at the ward level. Do you know what the ward is? The ward is the village. They trained people at the village level to collect information about these projects. So they trained so many young people came on board. They were trained to collect the data and to remit the data in real time back to budget. And they actually had an office in Lagos where this information was being tabulated. And guess where they were? Now, this is now the difference between Morara's approach and Budget IT's approach. What they did is that they recruited the National Assembly. They worked very closely with the politicians. They were the first people to get the information back from the ground. And then if they did not make a move, if they do not do anything about it, then they can go and seek redress from the media. So the media is not the first resort, it is the last resort. Yeah, or maybe the second to the last resort. So it's important when you're delivering information that is not palatable, that you use channels that will protect you. Because after all, what's the point if you're silenced? If they silence Morara, for example, right now, what would be the point of all his hard work? It's important to kind of like you don't need you. What I would say is that it's important to watch it. Yeah, to preserve. Self-preservation is a natural thing. Don't just put your life out there. Just say, okay, I'm ready to die right now. What's the point? You're more useful to us alive than dead, actually, seriously. So, okay, let me not harp on that issue of Morara too much. All I wanted to say was, let's talk about this issue. Anyone who wants to say something, come in. Let me know if you want to join. You can join, by the way, you guys. You can just join on StreamYard. I think I'm supposed to provide a link. Oh, God, I did not do that. I apologize. Ooh, hey, apologies. There is the link. Hiya. Hi, Fia. Yeah, targeting the elderly is definitely deliberate and something that should be stopped, like yesterday. That's my friend Fia. She's in the UK. Yeah. And she's talking about I think everybody's heart is very pained by what's going on with the elderly in the UK as well. And by the way, as much as I'm talking about the impeachment hearings going on in Kenya, I mean, this forum is open. We can talk about just about anything. We can talk about, even cost of living. We can talk about the economy, because actually that's part of the reason why I decided to talk about this. Because to be very honest, the impeachment motion is a bit boring. Yeah. What's more interesting is to understand how we're all being hoodwinked and smokescreened while our economies all over the world are sinking and stagnating. Guys, since when did we normalize the fact that people cannot afford rent even if they have a full-time job? When was that normalized? Yeah. Since when? Meanwhile, we say that we have leaders all over the world. You and I are treated to images every day of people who are sleeping under bridges, in cars. Talking about van life. Van life apparently is a type of life. Acceptable in some countries. And then they want to call Africa poor. No. We're not poor. In Africa, we're not poor at all. No. We don't sleep in cars and we don't sleep in trees, actually. Although let me not say that, because there are some children in the cities, the children who don't have parents, I was being told some of them are sleeping inside bridges. Yes, inside, some of these concrete jungles. Yes, they are. Yeah, there are some people doing that. But on a grander scale of things, no. Many people have shelter over their heads. Might not be the most nice shelter, but it's there. So anyway, why are they targeting the elderly? Why are they targeting the elderly? Yeah, why? Why are they targeting the elderly even in Africa? They want to kill elderly people by taking young people away and taking them to work in the Gulf countries, and then they can't afford to come back when they want to. Their passports are taken away. Not just Gulf countries, even abroad. By the way, I'm a product of studying abroad and working abroad, but also I'm a product of working here in Kenya. Yeah, in Africa and in many other African countries. So I've had that experience, both sides. And I can tell you that there is a lot of benefit in travel. Traveling is always good. Even our African traditions tell us there are sayings such as in my Kikuyu language that says, Modoria utasheraga oigaga no nyina urugaga wega. What that means is the person who doesn't leave their home believes that their mother's cooking is the best. So it's important to travel. We've been traveling since a long time ago, guys. We've been traveling since. But the thing is, it's different when you plan to travel based on the fact that you want to explore, you want adventure, you want to discover. That's something different. You want to see, you want to tour. Maybe you want to invest, maybe you want to expand your territories. That's different from traveling because you want to survive. That's something's off with that. Traveling because you want to learn, that's good. That's traveling to go to school, to learn. But traveling because you want to survive, okay, maybe you want to migrate to survive, but traveling across continents because you want to survive, going and tolerating all that bad weather, tolerating bad people, people who don't even want to see you there. Hmm? Meanwhile, our African countries are here treating us to drama. Drama that doesn't make any sense. Impeachments. Oh my God, let me not laugh. Hi, Ida. Oh, you mean you're there? Hi, Ida. Is that you? Oh my God, I need to wear my glasses. By the way, I have some of my friends on here and I'm so happy to see them. Yeah. So that's it. Hotep. Oh, yeah. Those are my friends. Everybody on here is basically my friend. I hope that this stream will be seen by more people. And I'm looking forward to, get more people to come and join me on board live. And let me not move around a lot because I can see that my image is getting affected. Yeah, any more comments, you guys? Put one or two more comments on there. Let me respond to comments. Can you see that? Can you see that link over there? You can join me actually. You can join me on that link. Guests on stream this their own destinations. Yeah, you can. By the way, you can also stream this to your own destinations. I'm allowing you to stream it, and I'm giving you that link over there so that you can join me. I know many people don't like talking about politics, but unfortunately, many of us make decisions because of politics. Yeah, it's the politics that forces us to make decisions. Yeah, like right now, I'm expecting to see a lot of people are expecting that because of the fact that the members of parliament voted with a landslide in Kenya to impeach the deputy president, many Kenyans expect that the deputy president will be impeached. For me, I'm 50-50 about it. Why? Because I know that overall, in the end, the court is the one that will win. The law, in the end, takes precedence. And if a two-thirds majority of the Senate agree to disagree with the parliamentarians, then he gets to retain his position. But if, they get less than a two-thirds majority, then he is impeached. And that's the end of the story. But he can also go back to the court and try to appeal the decision of the Senate. This is Gachagua. His name is Gachagua. So he can appeal the decision of the Senate. But the question is, we're talking about the law, we're talking about all these things, the constitution, but in the end, the views of many Kenyans and people that I've talked to so far is they feel kind of like, even if they don't appreciate Gachagua and his politics, the fact is that they see that he represents their tribesmen and women or their little cocoon of people, and they're ready to fight to retain the position because they believe that if it wasn't for the votes of the people that Gachagua represents, then the current president wouldn't be in power today. So kind of like it delegitimizes Ruto's government. That's in the minds of many, many Kenyans, and they're ready to defend that stand. And so there's a risk in our country of potential, I don't want to say violence, but some sort of, pushback on this. Let's call it pushback. There's a risk of some sort of pushback coming from certain quarters in our country in case Mr. Gachagua actually is impeached. He will be the first president to be impeached in Kenya under the new constitution. Yeah. And so, he will be like a lesson for everybody. First of all, yes, it's true that Mr. Gachagua has a loose mouth. It's true that he speaks and he doesn't really like sift his words or think through what he's saying sometimes. And most of the time, actually, But the thing is that he is the preference of the president. He is the president's preference. And the president actually had other people to choose from. But he chose Mr. Gachagua. Why did he have to choose him? Meanwhile, the economic downturn that we experience in Kenya is of gigantic proportions. Really. The other day when I was in Mombasa, for those of you who follow me on TikTok and on YouTube, you see that I was in the coast just the other day. When I was in the coast, I discovered that unfortunately a lot of businesses are suffering. The coast relies on tourism mostly. So the hotels rely on, people to come and have, go on holiday. What has happened is that a lot of hotels that rely on casual laborers, many of them, most of those casual laborers don't have work anymore. So there are a lot of unemployed young people in the coast of Kenya, and the coast of Kenya right now is undergoing a great facelift because the roads are being redone. And the question I ask myself: who are the roads being built for, if not Kenyans? If Kenyans cannot work in the coast, if businesses cannot thrive in the coast, what are the roads for? Do we have our priorities backwards? Because we really should be about creating jobs. Government should be here to create jobs. In fact, most governments, like in the US, for example, Obama and Trump, their rule was decided based on the number of jobs that they were going to be able to create and retain for their people. Why is it in Africa that we vote based on tribe instead of performance? So in the coast, I was saying that there's a problem with the economy, and many people are unemployed. When I asked my Uber driver, the one I had at the coast, was telling me also that, that before COVID, he was making about 10,000 shillings every day. 10,000 shillings is approximately $100 in those days. Okay, before COVID, it was approximately $100. He'd make between $80 and $100 every day, and just doing his Uber driving. And after COVID, he said that came down to about half, about $50 every day, driving all day and only making like $50, $50, which is about 5,000 shillings. Let's just say the exchange rate was about 100 shillings. He was making only like about 5,000 shillings. And then now he says he struggles to make even 2,000 shillings in this economy. You know what usually happens? There's Uber and there's Bolt, and those are the two major taxi companies that are affordable in Nairobi and in the main cities in Kenya. But what is happening is that there have been stories about Uber and Bolt drivers, or should I say Uber drivers, who come to collect you. And then when you have agreed already, you have to book all this online. You've booked online, but by the time they come, they're asking you for more money. There was a story about some people who got into an Uber, and the Uber driver actually locked the doors and told them that he's not going to take them for that money that they had already paid. And so these guys were saying, and these guys are the coast, and these guys were telling the guy, the Uber driver, so let us out. And he says, no, because I came all this way, you should pay my money back. You should pay my petrol back. And the guys say, no, we're not going to do that. Why didn't you tell us before? We would have booked a different taxi. So this guy started driving. The Uber driver started driving. And these guys were like, where are you taking us? We're not going to pay any more than we've already paid. So in the end, anyway, they were dropped off. Because these guys, basically threatened. Fortunately, there were two men, and they threatened the Uber driver. And they were finally dropped off somewhere, not too far from where they live, but they actually came back to tell that story. So this is what we're saying, that the Uber drivers are not making enough money. When again I was dropped, when I flew and came in and took another Uber back home, I asked the Uber driver again about the economy here in Nairobi. Same story. The Uber driver told me, look here, there is no money in the economy. Yeah. So we agreed on a certain price at the airport. But by the time we were driving, he was telling me that actually he wants to use the bypass, the quick, the expressway. He wants to use the expressway. It's quicker to get me home on the expressway. So can I add some money? We've already agreed. But this guy, in the middle of our drive, and it was actually, did I arrive in the night? Yes, I arrived in the night. It's at night. This guy wants to increase my, oh God. Do you know, I just said to myself, for somebody who is not Kenyan, that would be very disarming and very frightening. That whatever you have agreed with your taxi driver, they would go back and say, look, no, 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 no. No, I don't want to carry. I can't afford actually to carry you with this amount of money. So this is the kind of thing. And then just the other day again, I went to the store on when was this on Sunday. I went to one of these big supermarkets on Sunday, and it looked a bit empty. I was the only one who had a cart because I do shopping once a week, so I had a cart and I was doing a big shopping. And these guys were like really happy to serve me. When I said I want boxes, they were like scrambling to get me boxes and stuff. And I just looked at the guy and I said, how's work? How's business? And he said, yesterday was Saturday. We were just looking at each other quietly, staring at each other. There was hardly anybody in the store all day. In fact, when I walked into the store, they were playing a boombox music so loudly to attract customers to come in. And I got into the supermarket and I was at the bakery. I had to come back down and tell those guys, you guys, this music is so loud by the bakery. You guys, do you want to chase me out? So they had to reduce the volume so quickly because they were playing the music so loud to attract customers to come into the supermarket. But I found out at the cashier's desk that actually people don't have money in Kenya right now. They cannot shop for food. They cannot shop for the items that they need for their houses. Most people don't have enough money. Money is not circulating. Yeah? Businesses are struggling in Kenya right now. Meanwhile, we're going through an impeachment motion against the Kenyan deputy president, as if he's the one, as if that situation is going to save the economy of the country. Right now, they're talking about the fact that we have a spiraling debt to GDP ratio right now. Our GDP to debt ratio right now is at 75% in Kenya, you guys. 75%. Yeah? Right now, I know it is not as bad as Japan, which is at 200%. But 75% is bad. Very bad. Yeah? For a country like ours that is not actually producing anything of any meaning. Yeah? Really, we're not. We're not producing, we're not manufacturing the way we used to. We have a lot of companies that have left because of the punitive tax regimes in our country that are actually dissuading a lot of investors. We've lost thousands of investors on the Nairobi Securities Exchange, guys. We've lost so many investors. Thousands. We're talking about like 8,000 last year. When I was talking about it earlier this year, there were like about 8,000 investors gone. These are international investors. Yet when I did my research and I looked at, for example, countries like Botswana Security Exchange is so healthy. That is where a lot of people are putting their pension funds, in Botswana Securities Exchange. If you want a loan, you know what that impacts on? It impacts on the banks giving you a loan as a business. Yeah? If you go to the bank and you want to borrow some money and you have an unhealthy securities exchange, most likely you're not going to get any money from the bank. It's going to be extremely difficult. And this is impacting everybody, whether you're a professional or not a professional. So, right now it's 9 o'clock. It's actually in Kenya, it's 9 o'clock in the night and it's news time. Everybody is glued to the TV because all stations are just airing the impeachment motion. That's all they're on. As if the deputy president makes so much more difference in our pocket. So I don't know, guys. What do you think? What do you think? I mean, I'm going to close off my session. I think I've had a great time with you guys. I've had a 45-minute session with you. And join us. I think I'm going to try and stream to all my platforms when I'm on Sound Candid Live Talk tonight. I think it comes on about 11 o'clock. It's difficult for me to make those hours. It's not easy for me. But I need to go now because I'm here looking after somebody who is ill. Talking about, our responsibilities as Africans. We have responsibilities to our family members. I have a responsibility to my mother who is elderly. Yeah? Has issues. So I need to go and relieve whoever is there looking after her so that I can come back and join you guys. But let's talk. Let's talk, you guys. People, let us talk. Don't be afraid. Don't keep quiet. Musinyamaze. How can government officials be so tone deaf? to see the suffering of people. Nigerians are experiencing similar price increases. By the way, I can't even go before I talk about Nigeria because it's true, Fia. You were telling me about this before, Fia, about your visit to Nigeria and how you saw people hungry. I went to Nigeria. Nigeria is a country that is very highly populated. Yeah, as we all know, lots and lots of people in Nigeria, right? But the Nigerian diet is one of the most diverse on the continent. They have a beautiful African diet in Nigeria. Those of you in Africa, in Kenya, who think that you have a diverse diet, you're joking. Go to Nigeria, go to Cameroon, go to West Africa, go to those countries and see. See the original African food. But guess what? It's not affordable anymore. Their rice is so expensive, and that's what they rely on. Tomatoes are so expensive, and that's what they rely on. Yeah. So it is expensive, guys, extremely expensive. So a lot of people are only eating one meal a day if they can afford it. Heartless African leaders. Heartless. At least we have faith, at least we have hope in people like Traore, my favorite guy with dimples. The only leader with dimples that I care about, because all the other ones with dimples are horrific. Seriously, Ibrahim Traore. In fact, I think Hotep should be talking there. Hotep, tell me about Ibrahim Traore. Yeah, Ibrahim Traore is our new leader for Africa. He's a visionary, and I believe there are many Ibrahim Traores all over Africa. There are many, and we are there. We can also be the Mrs. Ibrahim Traores all over, Miss Ibrahim Traores all over Africa. Let's save our continent because it's the only place that's comfortable to live. It's the only place that's comfortable. Let's save it. Let's stop being diverted. What do I say? Distracted by things like these impeachment motions. We know that we are 75% plus in debt. What are they doing behind our backs? Meanwhile, as we listen to the impeachment motions, that is basically just full of a bunch of men, mostly just men, yeah, in suits, not even African suits. They're wearing, English suits, blue suits. That's what they're wearing. So un-African. In fact, sometimes I feel like the laws are so un-African. I don't feel any sort of attachment or any sort of relevance of many of these laws to our countries. I feel like they're just like delay tactics to allow these people to rip our countries off and to rape them. As we speak right now, there are many people who are living abroad who have left their families back in Africa, left their children, mothers going to work as maids, leaving their children to be looked after by grandparents. Who is looking after the carers? Who's caring for the carers? Who's caring for the grandparents? Money is not enough. Sending money is not enough. Our presence is very, very important, guys. Presence. Love is time. Time, not money. Time. Yes. Yes, we cannot operate without money. But it doesn't make it okay to be sending women to go and be maids in Saudi Arabias of this world, in the Middle Eastern countries of this world, or even in the developed countries, while they leave their parents without carers. You can't be caring for somebody else's parent when your parent needs care. Can't do that. I don't want to make people feel guilty, but it's a fact, guys. It's a fact. It's a fact. So I don't want to stray too far from the topic. And like I said, I'm closing off. I'm going to end the stream. Thank you very much for your time. I think I only have a few minutes actually to talk. Any last minute comments or questions? Thank you so much for watching. Ida, Hotep, Fia, thank you for joining me. And I hope that I'm going to keep on having these live sessions like very often so that people get to know and they get to join me on time. Thank you very much for your time and God bless you. Take care. Toodles. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.